We'll wait for that to load up. Oh, I choose this. So this is 80 Days. If you couldn't guess, it's a steampunky story based on the Jules Verne novel of a similar name, Around the World in 80 Days. I haven't read the novel. I've read a bit of Thousand Leagues Under the Sea, and Jules Verne bores me to tears. But this is actually a pretty fun game. It was made by Inkle and Cape Guy Limited. Both of those limited, Inkle Limited and Cape Guy Limited, and published by Inkle. This is a game that still gets updated today. It actually got updated back on the 15th, so they keep adding content to it. I think they have a community going on. They had a link to a Discord server. I'm not in it. Maybe I'll check it out later. I'm in too many Discords as it is. But we're gonna check out 80 Days. This game has a lot of additions. It got released on Mac. I think it's coming to Switch, or it's been on Switch. And I'm glad. I'm glad that this game's successful. Based on the novel by Jules Verne. Who, if you like him, is good for you. So we'll begin. Monsieur Phileas Fogg returned home early from the Reform Club, and in a newfangled steam carriage besides. I helped him down, and the iron-lunged, steam-driven horses clattered away. Passepartout, he said, we are going around the world. Very good. We shall circumnavigate the globe within 80 days. He was quite calm as he proposed this wild scheme. We leave for Paris on the 8:25, that's a train, in an hour. But of course, I answered, still extremely suspicious. He nodded. Good! Pack an altimeter and my evening jacket. There is not a moment to waste. You, Passepartout, now have funds. Your character is now dependable. Wow. Better than I am. So I have... Oh, Jesus. So I have 4,000 pounds. It's day one. Time is passing, so we can't pack. Let's see, so... Jesus. So this will be useful in Paris. So we want that. Part of the air traveler set. Playing cards. We'll use that. Do we need wool trousers and wool shirts? Ooh. We want to get everything there. Maybe we don't want to... Do we want the timetable? Jesus. Am I running out of time now? Okay. So I don't think we're going to go to Moscow. The last time I did it, I did do the I think I tried to do the Oriental Express to... And then diverted to the Trans-Siberian Express. This time I want to do Oriental and then through the Suez. There's a lot of places to go. It'll make more sense as we go. So we're packed. So there's Amsterdam to Castana, Nice to Rome, Venice to Athens in there, Stockholm to Helsinki and St. Petersburg, and Warsaw. So let's depart. We'll embark and go to Paris for one suitcase. And it is a very bearable option. So we'll get in our steampunk carriage and drive to the train station. The mechanical horses raced past Piccadilly Circus and Pall Mall faster than a team of thoroughbreds. Even so, the whistle of the 825 was blowing as we pulled up to Charing Cross Station and threw ourselves aboard. As the second whistle shrieked its warning, we barely had time to take our seats before the guard rapped smartly on the compartment door. He held out a hand. "Tickets, please." I pretended to have lost them, patting down one pocket and the other, and was about to start digging through our suitcases when Monsieur Fogg interrupted my touching performance. "My valet is trying to express that we were in too much haste to purchase tickets," he said. No doubt intending to chasten me for my dissimulation. "You may purchase them from me," the guard was saying, "though it is more expensive, I'm afraid. £85, please." Handed over the £85. I handed over the £85 and smiled a thin smile from one working man to another. The guard gave me our tickets and slid the compartment door shut behind him with a pneumatic hiss. We've gone down somewhat, and Fogg did not like us lying. We were not a gentleman. So we will converse. "I'm at your service, Monsieur Fogg." "Ah, the bumbling passepartout. How dare you?" "So let's talk about money." "Journey will be expensive. Indeed, but we can earn a little from buying and selling our possessions as we travel." "Tell me, monsieur, what is the purpose of our... I have made a hefty wager and I do not intend to lose." "Very good." London smog gave way to rolling hills and the pastures of the Kentish countryside, still untouched by the hand of technological advancement. Monsieur Fogg read his paper whilst I repacked our bags. Thrown together in haste and confusion, as afternoon turned inexorably to evening, I discovered that my master was one of those gentlemen who broke their silence rarely, if at all. A guard rapped on our door a few miles before Dover. "We're about to submerge," he warned. "Take some people a bit funny, so watch out." "But it is safe, is it not?" I asked, a trifle nervously. "I've done this route 300 times and haven't drowned," the guard replied carelessly. "Every inch of the Amphitrite Express has been examined and stamped with the artificer's seal. This is the world's only bath-escape locomotive." Pressed my face to the window glass as the fins above the Amphitrite's wheels extended with a hydraulic hiss. Night fell and we plunged past the end of the track into the freezing water of the English Channel. So I guess we just derailed the train and now we're dead. No, it's a train that travels underwater. So now we're actually traveling on the seabed of the English Channel. Plowed through the water overnight and splashed up onto wider gauge French tracks at Calais as dawn broke. "Do you have a route in mind, monsieur?" I asked as the water of the channel dried from the compartment windows. "I am as yet undecided," my master admitted. "The new canal has sped up the shipping route from Suez to Bombay, though perhaps we could take the Trans-Siberian Railway across Russia. And Iloek does not want to go to Moscow, so we will not go to Siberia. It's so cold and grim, and I have a particular fear of bears." "Then we would do well to buy furs," he replied, refraining from rolling his eyes. "There are other alternatives. We may also travel overland and across the Black and Caspian Seas." "Which is fastest?" "I believe," said he, that is what we shall put to the test." Parbleu. I scarcely knew what to think. We arrived at Paris-Gare-du-Nord just after 1 o'clock. Automaton porters lifted our luggage and then our persons onto the platform with long, delicately filigreed iron arms. Paris, city of my heart, I was home, but not to stay. New routes discovered, so we can go Suez to Jeddah to Aden to Bombay, or we can go from Moscow to, I'm not going to try that, to Omsk, Irkutsk to all the way to Vladivostok. So we arrive in Paris. So we should go to the market, and we can sell our wax cylinder for $470. Let's see, Copenhagen, Warsaw, and Budapest. Ooh, we should go through, I don't know, do we go through Berlin? I think we should go down through Nice. Because we don't want to go through Moscow. We want to do the Suez, right? So we have to head south. So I think we sell the jacket as well. Do we take the shaving kit? We'll take the shaving kit, maybe. And we'll keep this, and we'll grab... Should we grab an extra... Can we... How do I get the extra suitcase? Oh, do I just put stuff in it? I think... we have to go. Close the luggage. Damn it. So we'll spend the night in a hotel, I guess. It will be comfortable here, Mr. Fogg remarked, but traveling overnight will often be more efficient. We must board the longest journeys available. Perhaps, he replied. The short answer indicated, I think that one day journeys might often be more flexible in their timing and could allow more connection. Still, the surrounds of the Hotel Ritz were more enjoyable. Okay, so how... We go to overview? No. Cancel. So we zoom out, and then we... Wait, how do I... We should explore, I guess? There we go, and now we get new routes. There we go. Indeed, and you should learn anything of note, and be sure to relay it. I nodded and headed into town. The talk on the streets was of one thing only, an enormous elegant oval stadium constructed upon the green fields of Champ de Mars, containing the technological marvels, art, amusement parks, and milling crowds of the World's Fair of 1872. I ventured inside the grand, illuminated pavilions of the exposition. An arc light which had burned out, she first disconnected the strange machine powering the lights. It had a spinning iron wheel which was wound around with a series of armature coils. What is that device, artificer? I asked politely, my eyes strained to the copper lily pin which proclaimed her profession. It's a bleeding nuisance is what it is, the artificer grumbled in a thick Yorkshire accent. These gram machines are finicky beasts. Ram machines? I inquired. Well, it's, oh, never mind, she waved my question away. It's a steam engine, alright, only it doesn't make steam. Will that do? I had explained stuff to the layman. The harshness of her tone was belied by her gentle touch. As she unscrewed the arc light's globe of enameled glass and replaced the 2 carbon rods within, she reconnected the supply, and the 10 Yabloklov candles connected in series lit up once more. They are miraculous, I believed. The artificer snorted. Their hard work is what they are. Miracles indeed, but her mouth softened into a small, proud smile. She looked at her pocket watch, cursed, and hurried off, dropping something as she went. I pocketed it. It was a guild medallion, a token of membership of favor that might prove useful should we encounter other artificers along our path. I looked about me once more. Avenues sprawled in every direction between the inviting illuminated pavilions of the exposition. Let's see. Purple tents of the Artificer Guilds, draped with banners emblazoned with their copper lily sigil. Orchestra played gleaming brass instruments while mechanical sommelier popped a cork from a champagne bottle and poured out bubbling over glasses for passing tourists. Group of sticky-filtered children. Copper Lily stamp of the guild is an assurance of safety and quality, the artificer said before pausing to gently discourage a curious toddler's ambitions of flight. We build and maintain everything from children's toys, she gestured to a nearby clockwork monkey which was enthusiastically banging a pair of cymbals, to airship engines and even mechanical workers. I leaned in closer and remained silent, eager to hear more of this wondrous mechanized future. An automaton worker will never tire or feel hunger or thirst. It can function happily under the hot glare of the sun and will not get phossy jaw or cotton lung if it works in the factory. Surely an automaton is as expensive to fuel as a human is to feed, I asked, if not more. Artificer released the child now squirming in her arms and gave me a lopsided grin. For now, but we hope to build our automata more efficiently and find cheaper fuels, she raised her voice a little to address the small crowd that had gathered to eavesdrop on our exchange. The Artificers Guild operates across the borders of nation, caste, and creed. In which countries? I called. All of them. Pleased at this question, we have outposts in Bombay, Siberia, Bucharest, and every corner of the earth. She turned back to the children. When we become artificers, we give up our personal loyalties and we swear to use our skills only for peaceful aims. Artificer continued, the cleverest engineers and inventors all working together to shape a better future for all the world. I remained somewhat skeptical of the rosy picture she painted. No organization was so perfect and noble. The artificer caught my sleeve as the cloud dispersed. How was my speech? I rehearsed it all night. Was it too much? It was very stirring, I assured her, and she gave me a bright, grateful grin as I returned to the central square, stopping here and there to gaze at the wonders of the exposition. Crowds of tourists jostled and heaved past, their eyes wide with wonder, and I strolled down the avenue of nations lined with buildings in the styles of the nations of the world, and manned by foreign delegates in a national dress. Although the newly formed German Empire was a conspicuous absentee in the city it had so recently conquered. The Austro-Hungarian delegation was being harangued by an artificer who looked to me like a farm boy from Provence. The artificer was pointing at one of the soldiers guarding the doorway and shouting terrible German, "Verboten! Verboten!" I peered at the soldier, who was sporting a rather fine mustache and a gleaming uniform so spotless that it looked almost polished. Merde. With a start I realized that he was no man at all, but rather an automaton with an enamel-painted uniform and pewter face. The artificer cursed. These Austro-Hungarians brought their automata soldiers to Paris, even though war machines are expressly forbidden by the guild. Who knows what dangers they might represent? I turned away hurriedly. My feet were tiring, and the hour was growing late. I returned to Monsieur Fogg, who was eating a meal of plain boiled beef à l'anglaise. Did you enjoy the exposition, my master inquired diffidently. And I nodded. Nothing else possibly? Do you think we will encounter artificers on our travels? I asked with enthusiasm. Assuredly. I intend for us to use the most efficient transport available. I dreamed that night of mechanical wonders and automatons with beautifully enameled faces, knowing little of the strange inventions and stranger peoples I would soon encounter in my journey around the world in 80 days. So we will depart. We will... Let's see. We will go to Nice. So we'll arrive for that to arrive tomorrow at 8 a.m. Let's see, did the market change at all? No, we can get an extra suitcase, but nothing here is particularly valuable the way we're going. So let's go ahead and close the luggage, and we will hotel for the night. With what remained of the day, I washed and hung up our linen to ensure everything was shipshape for our upcoming departure. So now we need to wait for 10 a.m. We can probably look at. There's nothing particularly here. We can kind of look at. Nope, not that. We can just zoom out and kind of look at the world. Probably better if we went to Venice, but I kind of want to take the ship to Rome. We need to get to Alexandria somehow. Through the Suez to Bombay. And maybe we should try to hit Indonesia and Australia. Though I'm not sure what's good. It doesn't seem to be much good in Australia. I think is a good quote for this game. Nothing's good in Australia. Where am I? Oh my god. And then maybe go through south. Oh, we gotta depart. To Nice. How do I do this? How do I go to Nice? I'd like to go to Nice. I thought I already went to Nice. There we go. Tomorrow. It is tomorrow at 10. Okay. We'll try this one more time. If no, we might have to restart. There we go. We got 50 pounds for doing. There we go. We will embark. There we go. We'll go on the Pyrenees. We boarded our train at Gare de Lyon, which had been opened only the previous week. Thick boots were all staffed by automata, and cylindrical phonographs installed throughout the station played La Marseillaise in triumph. Marseille. We won't bother. We found a compartment and settled into plush seats with a complimentary glass of Provençal rosé to grace the trips. Were we French? We know how to travel, I declared. Is it too much to hope the rest of our journey will be so comfortable? Yes, yes, said Monsieur Fogg shortly before taking a single parsimonious sip of his wine. Converse. Greetings, Monsieur. Good afternoon, my name is Alfred Dumont. Let's see. Ask about Nice. The Riviera is only just becoming fashionable because of train. Ooh. What about Nice to Venice? Private car, but it's a tiring journey. Tell me more about Venice. I think they're dead in the canals, you know, but now I've worked this line since it opened. I've seen more famous people these days. Indeed? You and Mr. Fogg are the most famous, of course. Tell me more about Nice. Tell me more about Nice to Tunis. I think you're out of luck. What about Dubrovnik? So we can go from Nice to Venice. But I think we're better off heading Nice to Rome. Competitive charades with a nervous Viennese ragamuffin who proved to be a cheerful boy. I won a small sum, 30 pounds, along with my opponent's book of English poems. The train rattled on, arriving to Nice late in the evening. We stepped out to the balmy autumn weather and gentle murmur in the air. Ah, my friends, the sea. Let's see, so let's make a plan for Rome tomorrow. But it is tiring. So we will go spend the night in Nice. Along the long pebbled beaches of Nice were filled with Italians of one sort or another. A few selling sweet pastries which taste of almond butter. I munched contentedly, while I strolled along the promenade, watching the ships come and go from the harbor. Since being ceded back to the Beaux-Arts Français, Nice had become a bustling hub of activity. Boats piled the waters daily, and there was talk of building a tram to link the hotels to the beaches and the casinos. I found a sailor to talk to. He shrugged. There's cars to Venice, and the boat to Rome. Depends where you want to go, of course. Which would you recommend? He frowned. Well, I wouldn't go to Rome if I were you. The people there aren't quite right, if you know what I mean. Italians! Could not agree more. No, that's not it, he answered. Whoops, I fell for the trap, but he refused to be drawn on further detail. I thanked him and moved along. Approached one of the glitzy casinos, thinking I could perhaps earn a little money, and it seemed that Nice had gone up a long way in the world, and I was refused admission. Gentlemen and ladies only, the doorman said. No one of the lower classes. Where do they go to gamble? I demanded. He looked about him. I know a card game, he replied quietly, but the stakes are high. I gestured for him to tell me more. 500 to play, he said, down there. He nodded towards a set of basement steps. I thanked him and went below. The lair I found there I will not describe at length, to suffice it to say that the surly-looking clientele, men and women both, were sat around a stained table, drinking rough whiskey as they played. I ventured a hand or two and was rapidly hustled into playing for longer. These fine fellows had clearly eaten the likes of me for breakfast and passed. I got out with my shirt still on, but 500 pounds poorer. Still, I did at least learn that you could pick up a beautifully made music boxes in Vienna that will sell for a fortune in Antalya. But it was perhaps the most expensive information I had ever earned. My feet were tired. I murmured my goodbyes to the sea, and I knew to France and returned to my master. Character is now steadfast. So we will, when does this go? It says, well, I can embark. Let's go to the market. We can sell the shaving kit. Get the snow. We should get the Atlantic timetable. There we go. We got a route from Washington to, I believe that was Ponta Delgada, and then New York goes a couple ways. One goes through capital of Iceland, and one just goes straight back to London. And then there's Belém, which hooks up through to Dakar. Alright. We'll want to depart for Rome as soon as possible.